Hi, it's Leanne Spencer of Bodyshot Performance. Welcome to the month of June, where we're going to be running these Thrive and Fives, all about preventative health. So this is things that you can do in order to extend your health span. And that's really what Bodyshot certainly is one of our key philosophies. It's what we're all about. It's about putting the priority on health span, not lifespan. And I mean having a long, healthy life, not just a long life, which isn't necessarily healthy. And before we talk to you over the coming 3-4 weeks about our top tips for preventative health, I want to firstly suggest that you consider doing some testing. Now, I've no vested interest in this because the majority of tests are simply services that we use personally, but I do think it's really important to test and measure before you take a supplement, for example. Find out where your levels are at. Find out what your DNA says about you and the way you respond to foods and exercise and epigenetics, the way that the environment interacts on your genes. So the tests I recommend thinking about would be firstly a genetic test. Something like a DNA fit test, which will tell you the type of exercise you respond best to, the type of diet that your genes indicate you'd suit, so lactose free, for example, gluten sensitive, carbohydrate sensitive, the kind of requirements you have for base vitamins and minerals. I've used it personally for years. It's a one-time thing. You know, your genes don't change, certainly not in the context of DNA fit or one of those tests. They can, of course, be switched on and off by the environment, and that's the world of epigenetics. So a genetic test would be the first thing. The second would be to get some real-time data. If the DNA and the genetics is your blueprint for good health, real-time data tells us exactly what's going on in the gut and in the blood right now. So a blood test with someone like Forth with Life, that will tell you your real-time levels of iron, vitamin D, B6, B12, cholesterol, liver performance, all these sort of really important metrics. We've recently gone vegetarian, so I put some other stuff into my blood test to make sure that I'm getting everything I need now I've cut meat out of my diet. So that's the second thing. And the third thing to think about would be a gut test. Something like a health path test. That's one I've used personally recently and was really, really impressed with them. So that looks at your gut. It looks at the delicate ecosystem of bacteria in your microbiome, also your gut. And it also looks at the type that you have, whether you have leaky gut or the potential for leaky gut, or there's inflammation in the gut, whether you have a prevalence of bad bacteria, not enough good, or the other way around. And that will give you so much information through those 3 relatively easy tests that I'd really recommend doing. And then you can shape your health and well-being and your preventative health strategy all around data, not guesswork. Hope that's helpful. I'll speak to you next week.